Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. LeBron James is in control of his destiny with the Lakers. The player will turn 41 and continues to play at a star level. There is a strong possibility that he will continue with the Lakers, but LeBron James wants his fifth championship and the Lakers have little salary space to sign more stars. Therefore, there are rumors that he may leave the Lakers and return to the Cleveland Cavaliers, which has a very good team, and LeBron James would take his experience and certainly be successful and try to win the desired title and retire in style. Of course, LeBron is a great player, but if he leaves the Lakers, he will open up salary space to sign young and athletic stars who could build a very successful future together with Luka Doncic. Players like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Walker Kessler, joining the Lakers, would make them a favorite team for the championship. Rumors are plaguing the NBA. LeBron James may leave the Lakers and go back to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James' preference for the upcoming NBA season is to stay with the Los Angeles Lakers. However, the star is expected to give up his current contract to sign a new one. The problem is that the team is reportedly considering alternatives. This is because James does not want to give up a big deal to stay in Los Angeles, even if it is just for 1 year. But I hope, of course, that he's around for a long time. The Lakers fans love him. Los Angeles has embraced him. We love him as a teammate, as a brother. But that kind of decision has to be his. So, I won't be around for long, LeBron James concluded. According to some journalists, LeBron James doesn't want to retire now, but he could go somewhere else. So could LeBron James leave the Lakers to finish his career elsewhere in the race for a fifth NBA championship ring? When asked, sources didn't rule out the idea. And that was before the Lakers even lost the game, The Athletic's Jovan Buha said. There is a question as to whether LeBron really wants to fight for the title with the Lakers. Whether James will spend the next few seasons fulfilling his legacy as a player or whether he will do everything he can to give his team a real chance. For now, he would be ready to give up his current deal and sign a new contract with the Los Angeles team. Without the discount that could make the franchise a real force for 2025-26. Now, LeBron James is trying to avoid questions about the future, whether his own or the Lakers. In the last interviews of the season, he talked a lot about who makes the decisions in Los Angeles, leaving it all to Rob Pelinka, the GM. Today, he wants to stay out of it, because he knows how much influence he has had. And it didn't work out, in fact. There is a chance James could leave the Lakers for 2025-26, but only if management pressures him to accept a much smaller contract. In fact, sources say LeBron won't do that. In this case, Golden State Warriors and, mainly, Cleveland Cavaliers appear as the main destinations for LeBron James. It is worth remembering that the Warriors tried to trade him at the 2023-24 trade deadline. Rich Paul, his agent, warned that James would not want to play for a new team in his career, as it would not be good for his legacy. However, if he doesn't have the chance to stay with the Lakers with the same salary he would like, an exit is not ruled out. The Cavs and Warriors, however, would have to make room on their rosters or, eventually, via trade. Lakers star forward could leave Los Angeles for Cavaliers, per media personality. The 2024-25 NBA campaign concluded on Sunday night, with the Oklahoma City Thunder defeating the Indiana Pacers in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. With free agency being the primary focus for all 30 NBA teams in late June and the Eastern Conference having no clear favorite entering the 2025-26 season, a media personality surprisingly suggested that the Los Angeles Lakers star forward could leave for the Cleveland Cavaliers this summer. Without Tyrese Haliburton and Jason Tatum, the Eastern Conference feels so wide open, Big Play's Nick Padone wrote on X/Twitter Sunday. Have to wonder if LeBron James tries to win one more ring with the Cleveland Cavaliers. James' 7-year initial stint with the Cavaliers helped him jumpstart his outstanding 2-decade-long career. James joined the multi-time All-Star and All-NBA club and won 2 MVP awards with the Cavaliers in his early to mid-20s. However, the 40-year-old future Hall of Famer grew weary of the Cavaliers' persistent postseason shortcomings, compelling him to take his talents to South Beach in 2010. James won the first two championships of his career alongside Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade in Miami, defeating the Thunder in 2012 and the Spurs in 2013. In 2014, the former number 1 overall pick returned to Cleveland for Act Number 2. James helped the franchise in 2026, guiding the Cavaliers to their first-ever championship in exhilarating fashion, beat the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. James, who must decide how to approach his upcoming $52.6 million player option, will always have fond memories of his 2 tenures with the Cavaliers. Lakers' LeBron James' retirement plans couldn't be clearer after recent social media post. Los Angeles Lakers fans won't be able to rest until LeBron James makes a final announcement on his retirement status. While James hasn't made it official that he's returning for year 23, his recent Instagram post made it clear which direction he's leaning toward. "Man, it felt good to get back out there today for the first time since my MCL injury, almost 8 weeks ago," James wrote Monday. "Been at it with my rehab and training regimen to get back to form. Obviously not where I want to be ultimately, but off to a good start. What a great feeling. /Oh my brother Kevin Love for allowing me to crash his workout. And also /oh Chris Berkeley for always looking out when I'm in the city." Would a player who doesn't intend to spend another season in the NBA announce that he's working toward getting 100% healthy after a significant lower body injury? Probably not, which likely means James is nearly a lock to complete his 23rd season in the big leagues next season. At age 40, James' career outlook doesn't look as promising as it did years ago. Still, the 21-time All-Star appears to make it work alongside Luka Doncic for at least one more year and compete for his 5th NBA championship. James was the Lakers' second most productive contributor during the 2024-25 campaign, averaging 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds per game while finishing with satisfactory shooting splits. A return to the NBA seems more likely than ever for James in late June. Lakers must embrace painfully obvious advantage to maximize Luka and LeBron. The Los Angeles Lakers have a clear path to success with Doncic and James. The Los Angeles Lakers cannot waste the advantage they have with Luka Doncic and LeBron James being a part of the same offense. JJ Redick will need to lean into going mismatch hunting a ton in the 2025-26 season. "It could certainly be better," Jovan Buha said of the fit between Doncic and James. "I personally would like to see more two-man game. There were plenty of times they could have tried to target mismatches." On the episode of Buha's Block, the former beat writer for The Athletic explained there are certainly matchups where it will not make a lot of sense, highlighting the Orlando Magic as an example. However, there are others where it definitely will. Buha pointed out opportunities like the Indiana Pacers, with Andrew Nembhard primarily guarding Doncic and Pascal Siakam being put on James, where the Lakers should be hunting the mismatch more aggressively. That offseason priority for the offense should not be lost on Redick this summer. Doncic and James pairing is only as great as their deployment. There is no doubt that both Doncic and James are two of the best defensive engines that the NBA has ever seen. The 40-year-old in that duo is certainly further removed from that status, but LeBron remains more than effective even in his advanced age. The challenge with mismatch hunting using Doncic and James will be the fact that often they will draw similar molds of defenders. This was a similar issue, at times, when it came to the two-man game of LeBron and Anthony Davis at times. The same defenders tasked with guarding James can often be found effective on his superstar teammates. The example given above by Buha highlighted an instance where Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner would be the two guarding the veteran superstar and Doncic. When moments like those come up, getting a switch does not serve a big purpose. However, not everyone will have the personnel to deploy those kinds of coverages. Buha pointed out how instances of smaller point-of-attack defenders can create mismatch opportunities for an advantageous James post-up. Likewise, bringing a less mobile defender onto the switch can allow Doncic to exploit that coverage in space. A lot of the conversation this offseason will come from what Rob Pelinka can do to bring in external sources of help to the Lakers. However, necessary internal improvements like this one from Redick and his staff will be just as important. Lakers can't afford to start July with veteran backup. The Los Angeles Lakers are heading into what is predicted to be a busy offseason. The team will have to make some key roster moves. They cannot afford to have veteran reserve guard Shake Milton still on the roster. Milton is a talented player. However, the Lakers are stocked with talent at the guard position. As a result, he could end up being the odd man out with Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, Jordan Goodwin, and Bronny James still on the roster. Shake Milton may be the odd man out in Lakers guard rotation. Last season, Milton averaged 3.9 points and 1.3 assists in a limited role off the bench for the Lakers. He has shown flashes of brilliance. However, this move the Lakers may make could be due just to a surplus of talent at his position. The team has come out and already said that Bronny James will be a key part of their rotation next season. This past season, Jordan Goodwin stepped up and ended up taking Milton's minutes. Keeping him on the roster risks clogging the rotation. Milton will be turning 29 years old during the 2025 to 2026 season. He is still a serviceable player that teams will covet to help bolster their bench. He will be due $3 million for next season. The Lakers will be able to make a trade because Milton is not paid as much as other players. However, teams will most likely find value in Milton and be willing to take on the last 2 years of his current contract. The Lakers are always in win-now mode. The 2025 to 2026 season will be no different. The team will be looking to maximize every roster spot they have. The team is in a stacked Western Conference and is looking to make a deep playoff run next season. Unfortunately, despite Milton's talent and his being a team player, he will be the odd man out. Lakers' biggest need revealed heading into NBA draft. The Los Angeles Lakers can officially start their offseason with the NBA Finals in the rearview mirror. They have to figure out a way to build around Luka Doncic to maximize his skills. After acquiring Doncic this season, the Lakers are going to try to make another run at the championship next year. They believe they have a lot of great players on the roster. Still, they have some pretty glaring needs that came into focus after losing a first-round series against the Timberwolves this season. Defensively, they have to get better. The Lakers have a clear need to upgrade the center position this summer. They might be the team that needs a center the most in order to compete in the playoffs. Los Angeles had to lean on Jackson Hayes as the starting center for the second half of the season after trading Anthony Davis away. While he was serviceable, the Lakers need someone better. The Lakers don't have a lot of cap space to get a new center, however. If they are going to upgrade that center spot, they have to get one via a trade. There are going to be some teams that will be looking to trade some centers, including the Celtics, the Nets, and the Trail Blazers. They need to explore those options in great detail. Los Angeles could look at drafting a center anyway. They still need some options at the center spot to back up whichever guy they bring in to be the starter. The Lakers are a really good team, but they have to get someone who can protect the rim and make up for the defensive mistakes that the backcourt will make. Los Angeles is going to make that a top priority this summer as they look to become a title contender in what is an incredibly competitive Western Conference. A couple of big trades have already happened this offseason. More are going to happen as teams try to navigate the luxury tax rules and both tax aprons. Lakers interested in Mavs point guard who once called them a great organization. The 2024-25 NBA season is now officially in the books, and we're just days away from the start of the free agency period on June 30th. The Los Angeles Lakers are expected to be active during free agency, and NBA insider Anthony Irwin reports they're interested in Dante Exum. The Lakers are going to be interested in Dante Exum for the veteran minimum. Irwin isn't the first to report on the Lakers' interest in Exum. Kobe Price had named the Australian as one of the under-the-radar targets in free agency for the team. While Exum would be a solid backup guard, the big problem when it comes to him is availability. For one reason or another, Exum has struggled to stay healthy during his career. The 29-year-old signed a 2-year deal with the Dallas Mavericks before the start of the 2023-24 season and has played just 75 games since then. Exum missed time with a sprained right plantar fascia, soreness in his right knee, and right knee bursitis between January and February 2024. He would play just 55 games in his debut campaign with the franchise. That was actually the most games he had played in a single season since he featured 66 times for the Utah Jazz in 2016-17. Any hopes of Exum having an injury-free 2024-25 campaign were dashed before the action even commenced. He suffered a right wrist injury during training camp that would rule him out for over 3 months. The guard only ended up making his first appearance of the campaign on January 31. The Mavericks wouldn't be able to count on Exum's services for too long, though. He broke his hand in a game against the Houston Rockets in March and would be out for almost a month. Thanks to the 2 injuries, he ended up playing just 20 games in the campaign. You might brush those aside as freakish injuries, but Exum's track record suggests his body will break down at some point during the season. Is he worth the gamble for the veteran's minimum? Perhaps. Exum averaged 8.7 points, 1.7 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 0.6 steals, and 0.2 blocks per game for the Mavericks in 2024-25. He has become a solid defender and, of course, has experience playing alongside Luka Doncic. You'd reckon Exum is also on good terms with Rob Pelinka, who was his agent before becoming general manager of the Lakers. He had hired Pelinka in the lead-up to the 2014 NBA draft, which led to rumors about his wanting to be a Laker, as Kobe Bryant was the agent's most famous client. Exum also had some high praise for the Lakers back then. Obviously, the Lakers are a great organization, Exum said. But I am in this draft to go to a place where I feel best at, that is a good fit for me, and whatever that team is the best place for me. There is no one place I want to go to. The Lakers had the 7th pick in that draft and would never get the opportunity to select Exum. The Jazz selected him with the 5th pick, while the Lakers chose Julius Randle. Will player and team finally come together 11 years later? Time will tell.